Hey everybody, welcome. It's Andrew Ainsworth Golf Academy. Once again, welcome. Thanks for joining me today on my channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do us a great favor. Click on that subscribe button down the bottom. And there's a little bell icon down there as well you can click on. So when I do post new content, you'll get a little alert to say new video arrived. So let me tell you what I'm talking about today. I had a phone call, email actually, from a company, golf company, who I think are based up in Scotland, called Old Tom. Kind of vaguely seen some stuff on the internet about it. They said, look, we've got some new product coming to market. Can we send you some to try? I said, yeah, sure, no problem. Always happy to try new clubs and support manufacturers who are new to the game of golf. So these two clubs arrived in the post the other day. These are their hybrids. I've just flicked up on the screen here. This is all off their website, and if you're interested in the product, this is the place to go. I'll tell you why in a minute. So this is a 3 and a 4 hybrid set. They're not sold individually, they're sold as a set. In the UK here, they're £179. We'll go through the pricing to start with. There seems to be a default discount code. As you click onto the product, you get a 10% discount straight away. And I think postage in the UK is around about £5. So with the discounts and everything else and the postage, you're talking about £87 per club, which is pretty good value if they're any good, isn't it? We'll find out about that in a minute. Tell you a little bit about, let me just scroll down a fraction so I can get you some more details. Tagline is, stop struggling with your 3 and 4 irons. Well, not many people I know are hitting 3 irons anymore. I think we're all pretty much aware now that hybrids are the way to go. You know, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. Get rid of your irons and get the hybrids in there. Struggle to hit your long irons. I know the feeling. That's why we created this 3 and 4 hybrid clubs. Weights in the heel and toe cavities to reduce the chance of miss hit and help you hit the sweet spot. So, you know, like they've done on a lot of clubs, they've put weighting in the bottom, moved the center of gravity back, and tried to make the face a little bit more forgiving. Super lightweight crown is made of titanium, which means the clubs are light and help you swing the club faster and further. So, you know, nothing revolutionary there going on. And I think the problem with golf club design now is I think we've kind of got to the sort of limitations really, and certainly on hybrids, you know, what else can you do to it? You can make them adjustable, you can make them a bit bigger, make them a bit smaller, but at the end of the day, you know, hybrids are hybrid. And what I'm interested in is how this performs. The shaft in here is a nondescript shaft. It just says Old Tom. I've got these in a stiff flex. Loft is 19 on the 3, 22 on the 4, so very standard loft issues there, and the shaft length 39.5 inches long, so again pretty standard, and it comes with a sort of a tour velvet style grip on here. Give you some close-up shots on it. Interesting thing is that they're selling direct to the customer. Seen quite a few more companies go this way, and it kind of makes economic sense, I think, to cut out the middleman like me. Don't know why I'm actually promoting this video, cutting myself out of it, but I see the sense of it. I hope that the big companies don't go that way in the future. I think, you know, people like Ping, Callaway, TaylorMade, Mizuno, they'll need outlets to sell their products through. But I think these smaller companies, these emerging companies, going direct to the customer is probably a good way of keeping the pricing down and kind of controlling price and supply and demand and all that sort of stuff. You know, we see companies like Vice Golf doing this, Bombtech Golf in the States sell direct to the customer, and there are many others, so it kind of makes sense. That's about all I've got to tell you at the moment about these Old Tom hybrids. I think the next thing I need to do is actually get in and hit a few, and then, you know, I'm always honest with these reviews. If they're any good, I'll tell you. If they're not so good, I'll tell you as well, because you've got to be honest and impartial about these things, haven't I? The first thing I would say before, though, I go and do the testing is the finish on these clubs is excellent. Often on clubs I've got through that, you know, aren't out of mainstream, you know, they've come out of a factory in China and just been made to a certain spec. The finish on there has been poor, and when I say the finish, just the way that the paint lines are set, the decals, you know, the sort of engraving on there, the way that the ferrule's finished, the little black plastic bit. is all a bit of a giveaway sometimes, and the finish on these is very, very good. I certainly commend them on the quality of the build. So enough of my waffle, let's go and hit some. Okay, old Tom, your time has come. So for those of you, I don't want to do any history lessons here, for those of you wondering why they've called it Old Tom, there was a very, very famous golfer back in a long time ago called Old Tom Morris. Google him. He was basically one of the first golfing superstars, based up at St Andrews, and he won the British Open when it first started. But there's Old Tom Morris, Young Tom Morris, golfing legend, and so it's all out there on the internet, but this is where they've got the name for it, Old Tom. I've got a 19 degree here, which is their 3 hybrid. The other thing I meant to tell you while I was doing the introduction was that they are selling into Great Britain, the UK, and they're also selling into America. Now obviously the pricing is going to be reverted into dollars for all you good people out in America, and from what I could see, the shipping charges seem reasonable to get out to the States. I guess there's going to be, I have no idea what the implications are for paying import duties, customs or taxes once the product's imported in, so you'd need to speak to the company direct for that. Anyway, that's none of my business really, what goes on there. Let's go. I've got GC2 set up. I've got a green down there at about 220. Got Mizuno balls on the deck. Let's give old Tom a hit. Okay, that was pretty good strike for the first one. I've had a little warm-up, pulled it a fraction, which is no surprise for me. Strike was a little bit high in the toe, which probably accounted for that ball wanting to go a bit left. I was speaking to the guy via email about the shafts, and although these are stiff, they're not poker stiff. Not that I need a poker, but they are a little bit on the soft side. I would call them sort of firm rather than stiff. And he was talking about another shaft coming through which plays a little bit stiffer, but that's by the by. Let's have a look at that data, shall we? How did it feel? Felt great. You know, looking down at the ball from above, it's a classic sort of hybrid shape. There's nothing offensive on it, nothing at all. Carried that 199, spinning at 3,119, launching at about 15. Remember, I'm a low ball hitter. That's more me than the club. And that's kind of where I would see myself with a 19 degree hybrid, carrying around about 200, running out to whatever the ground allows, you know, sort of 220, somewhere around about that sort of distance. Let's go again. That's a slightly better strike than the first one. Again, looks to be pitching just short. Pitch onto the green, it'll get a little bit of run out here. Distance may become a bit inflated as it's running across the hard green. 197 carry. So, as I say, slightly better strike that than the first one. Spinning at 3.8, launch, quite a low launch, but again, that's just me. I do struggle to get height with any golf club. I'm gonna hit one more, but I'm impressed. I'll give you my all my thoughts. Let me just hit one more, and I have hit these in testing. I've probably hit, I don't know, 25 shots with these clubs, so you know, I've hit more than this, and I've really enjoyed the results of them, really. Sent that a little bit to the right in the hope that it might draw back. It's trying a little bit, sort of front right edge. Now, I don't know, and I didn't ask. I'm guessing that these have a slight draw bias. You know, I would imagine the faces, I don't know, or maybe a degree shutter. So it's not uncommon on a hybrid for manufacturers to close the face up a little bit, because that they realise a lot of golfers are going to, right-handed golfers may lose the ball out to the right. Let's have a quick look at that last one. Again, it was slightly higher ball flight, 17 degree launch. Did get at it a little bit from the inside, but again, 196 carry, so very consistent. So Old Tom, let's give you a summing up on this club. For the money, so we'll think we're looking at around about £87 per club if you take their discount code, factor in the shipping. Is it good value for money? Excellent value for money. If I put this up alongside a Ping or a Mizuno or a, I don't know, Callaway hybrid, would there be much difference between this in performance? Not really. I mean, with the Mizuno and the Ping and the Callaway, you're probably getting some adjustability where you can change the lofts up and down. Personally, when I buy a hybrid, I know what loft I want. You know, I either want a 19 or a 22 or a 17, and I don't really need that adjustability. I get why they're doing it, so you can dial in the yardages and all the rest of it. I prefer my club to be fixed. Shaft, don't know who makes it. It felt fine. That's all I can say about it. It felt pretty good. You know, shafts are shafts, aren't they, to a certain extent, you know, and there's all these shaftoids out there who'll say, you know, the Fujikura blue's better than the whatever Mitsubishi chemical one, and I get that. People are into shafts, but I feel confident it's a good quality shaft. Grip's fine. I suppose my only criticism might be that they could have maybe used a better grip. Nothing wrong with this grip, you know, it's just a basic Tour Velvet style grip. It's got their logo on, but maybe a Golf Pride grip, you know, multi-compound, might just elevate the look and the feel of it, but that might come down to a cost thing. You know, grips are expensive. That's my only sort of negative, and that's not meant in a negative way because there's nothing wrong with the grip on there. Absolutely fine. Comes with a head cover. I inquired about that. Comes with like a black leather head cover, which looks really classy. Overall, Old Tom, I would give you a very good rating. I would recommend that if you're trying to hit a price point and get some really good quality clubs and you're not worried about the name, then you're not going to go far on with this. It looks good stuff. My only fear for these company would be breaking into the market without, it's very hard, isn't it? You know, unless you're going to sponsor tour players or sort of get into it from an, you know, that sort of end, the players market. Trying to break into the golf market's incredibly difficult. And I hope they do well. I guess if they can get through the first couple of years and start selling some volume and make a bit of a name for themselves, then they're going to do well. So I wish them all the best. It's a bit of a risk, I would imagine, but so is anything in business, and I guess until you try, you don't know. So yeah, it was lovely to hit them. Thanks for letting me have a try, and I hope you've enjoyed the review. That's it. All the best. Bye for now.